I'm ICEBERG, and this is how I produce my song Catch 22. So when I wrote Catch 22, I did it, of course, on my favorite super crazy cheap acoustic guitar. And I just took this guitar course called the Sonora, like guitar program, and had learned about sixths, and I'm a self-taught guitarist, and I started kind of taking guitar seriously at about 20. So I took this course to sort of fill in the gaps of what I know, and I just loved some of the new kind of chords and intervals that I learned, and so I wrote this. I just loved those intervals. Sounds so good. Just like one of the notes is changing, one isn't, and then the chorus. So the song was built on that guitar part, but I, again, kind of went back and forth between electric and acoustic, and there's both electric and acoustic on the final song. I wanted it to feel light and airy. I wanted it to fit in this kind of indie acoustic world that the other songs lived in, and this is definitely one of the harder songs on the album to produce. It went through more iterations and big changes. So I started recording it, and I did some cool electric. So it's just that guitar part, but on electric. With this really pretty kind of cello pad continual note, and I wrote big badass synth, which doesn't sound very big in retrospect, but I think it became big once I finished producing. And I had live bass over a synth bass, over a synth. And then as the production process went on, I added more and more layers of acoustic because I wanted it to sound light and airy. So this is the nylon that I just played. Just two notes, but kind of an accent melody. And the strings. And I ended up replacing those MIDI strings with live cello, which is really beautiful. And when it came to drums, I wanted the choruses to feel intense. And the drums to help that, but I also wanted this to be a song that you could listen to in the car, and like a road trip song. I wanted it to, because it's storytelling, and it's a story that takes place over many years. It feels like a road. The melody and lyrics to me feel like a road trip song, so I wanted it to feel like that, but I wanted it to still have intensity and edge. So I played a lot with the drums. With my co-producer mintsauce, and we changed the drums more than anything else in this production. I think we did like 3 complete remakes of the drums, and finally ended up with the drums that I'm happy with. But so these are all the kind of final guitar layers. So you can hear there's electrics in there, but the acoustic as well. So this is either someone who's has 12 fingers, or a few guitar parts, and that's what it is. It's this kind of plucking pattern that mimics what I originally did on the guitar, but then it has some additional melodies, and then slowly we hear other parts come in. This is piano. I've got piano. And the piano is I played it on the Wurlitzer Grand. It's just a repeating pattern. And then the bass part. So this is a very layered song, lots and lots of layers, but I love the end result. I think is really airy and light and doesn't feel too packed. There's like 5 layers of piano, 5 layers of electric guitar, 3 layers of acoustic guitar, but I don't feel like it sounds over. I think it still has a really kind of spacey, light feel at the end. This is the cello. And I love that. I love the cello part. Took a long time to write because, you know, I think that the typical modern thing to do is just to put the chords in, and the strings are just these MIDI, but, you know, block chords. But I wanted the cello to kind of move with the vocals and with the, you know, with the melody. So it took a long time to kind of get that right and have it slot right in with everything else going on. And this is the final song.
If the ground is gonna shake, at least I'm not alone. If I knew that I get someone, life was a catch-22. Before I found you, and I remember all the nights when all the empty held me tight.
So that's how I produce Catch-22.